What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MarbleCast. Today I'm joined by an old friend of mine, Dave Charbonneau. Dave is one of the first guys I started doing CrossFit with back in 2010 in the Globo Gym days. He's made a name for himself qualifying for regionals, going to the games as a team athlete, and he's just an overall savage in CrossFit. So we hope you enjoy this episode. Let's check it out. All right, Dave, what's going on, man? It's good to see you, and thank you for coming on.
Of course, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, it's got to be what, like 7 years? It's been a long time.
It's been probably about 6 or 7 years, yeah, for sure.
That number just pops in my head randomly, but I feel like 7 sounds about right.
Well, we opened here in 2016, and I left Greenpoint probably 2015, which is where you were working, but you're not there anymore.
No, I'm currently in Astoria, Queens, at working at CrossFit Queens right now.
Yeah, so I think one of the first competitions you and I did together was at CrossFit Queens, and now you're head coach there?
Yes, head coach there, and then I also have a side hustle programming business called Forged by Zeus as well.
Yeah, Zeus Boulder. I remember when you came up with that, or I remember you coming up with that.
Come a long way, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you are, you've always been sort of out there with CrossFit, so it's awesome. And for anybody who doesn't know, Dave and I started CrossFit together in probably 2010.
2010, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 2010. We had mutual friends in the gym, and we just started doing CrossFit. How did you get started with CrossFit?
I got started before I moved up here. So I probably moved up here in 2010. I was originally in Virginia, and I was doing MMA at the time. And one of our instructors had us training or doing our conditioning we were doing CrossFit, but we had no idea it was CrossFit. He would just invite us over to his house, and we'd be doing these workouts. And then one day I was like, where are you getting these workouts from? And then he told me oh, it's this thing called CrossFit, and that's how I got into it initially. It was our conditioning protocol for MMA.
And back then it was just a website, so you just logged on to CrossFit.com, saw the workout, and then you did it and posted your score to the comments section.
Yeah.
And you felt like a really big champ because you did 14 rounds in a workout.
I think people still do that, though. They still have that set up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've gone through it all. You've been to the games. I've watched you destroy yourself in training. And walk me through some of that process. How has your training sort of changed? And give a little background of where you started, where you ended, and where you are.
Well, so when you first met me and we were training together, that was the younger years of doing CrossFit, and so at that point I didn't have any care in the world as far as in regard to my body, right? So I would just run my head through a wall basically and just train as hard as possible, and I was still relatively young then, so I didn't have any injury situation. But yeah, we were doing that thing, and that was actually the first year of the Open, right? It was 2011.
Yeah.
And so we did that. I had made the regionals that first year, and the next year as an individual. And then I hopped on board a team in 2013 that ended up going to the CrossFit Games. And then I think we went back to 2014 as well. And then, yeah, it's been I think a couple of years on the team there, and then I took 2015 off and got really big. I just spent time. I did basically what you're doing now, where I
you did it way better though in reality.
and did weightlifting and now and then I got back on a team for a couple of years and went back to the games for 2 years, and then now I am retired from the CrossFit stuff, and I'm just kind of doing that. I'm actually doing endurance training now, so I'm way off the beaten path.
Yeah, you're doing marathon runs and rows all the time.
Yeah, I did a marathon in 2019, my first one. I recently did a 100K row. My that was like my wife just snuck by us there, but
Hello.
and yeah, so like now I think there's two like ways you branch off when you become a dad. I think you either like go lift weights and get like dad strong, or I feel like there's a group of people that go and do like the endurance route as far as like athletics go, and I kind of went the endurance route.
Well, I guess you beat the shit out of yourself for so many years that it's nice to not do that in that way.
Yeah. The you can just walk by.
Yeah, so you could be in the MarbleCast. It's all
Yeah,
good.
she was trying to like do ninja rolls behind me, and I'm like, it was like so distracting. But yeah, so yeah, I decided that the weightlifting I put on the back burner a little bit. Maybe I'll revisit it someday, but right now, I'm happy just running around and sweating.
Especially when you got the little one running around. He's probably running marathons around you.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. Is I feel like I was getting beat up so much doing the CrossFit training and stuff that like it was hard to like also want to run around and chase the kid around. So
I think that's like the natural progression. Like we started CrossFit, and you were obviously head and shoulders above all of us when we were training together. So it was clear that you were doing a lot better. You were really into CrossFit. You were going places, regionals, top 5 qualifier, 3 years in a row, something like that.
Yeah, 2 years, 2011 and 2012. I think I was 4th actually both years. So I missed going to the games individually by 1 spot 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and I always showed up on the last day when you were broken, and I got to see you do shitty, and it always made me upset.
Yeah, I was not a great closer.
Yeah, you always started off really good.
Yeah,
you were like
that day
1-2 for the first 2 days.
Yeah, the day 3, not really my day.
So
day
back
1 and 2, I got that.
Yeah, if it was only 2 days of competition, you'd have been in.
Yeah, would have been. Would have been one of the best out there.
So walk me through the early days of the regionals, where it was outside in Boston with 150-degree heat, beating you down. How do you how did you prepare for that mentally?
I mean, it was tough. Like mentally, like in the gym, we would just like destroy ourselves, just doing crazy workouts. But and nothing prepared you for like the environment, because it was outside, and we didn't really train outside that often. We were like stuck in gyms all the time, and so like the heat was obviously a big factor. I think one of the years, one of 2012, I got heat exhaustion while I was there on day 2. Like I had to get like an IV. But yeah, that was, I mean, it was really hard to prepare for like that sort of environment, because we weren't really used to it. You know, we're in New York City. There's not really a lot of like places to train outside in the heat, you know?
Yeah. Plus the bar is sitting out there in the sun, and on top of that, you're outside. So if it rains, you're going in the rain. If it's hot, you're going in the sun. Like there's all conditions. Yeah. So the Northeast regions at that point was quite difficult, because it was weather permitted. You're still going, whereas other regions were inside, indoors, and they had a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, but it was also like, even though it was challenging because it did tend to be very hot, it was also like really fun, because I mean we weren't used to training like that, so it was like kind of cool to be outside like in that kind of venue. So I mean, yeah, it was challenging, but it was also like a cool experience to have.
And then you trained and did regionals when they changed it to the Albany indoors. Did you do that individual or team?
No, that was team. So that was team at that point.
So at that point, you're with Team Dynamics with Justin Kotler was your coach, right?
Yeah, so that was Team Dynamics was 13 and 14, 2013 and 14. We went to the games. I think we won the regional both those years and went to the games both those years. I think one of those years we also got 4th at the games. We were. That
was 14, right? You took 4th?
I think it might have been 13. I think the next year with the 14 we went back. I think we did worse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had a really rough go that year. And I think that's why I took 2015 off, was because I was like, I don't want to do that again.
What was the training like with the team? Like, how often would you have to get together, and how long were workouts? Like, how was it structured?
Well, I mean, every team trains differently, but I mean, I know Justin had, he wanted us in the gym together all the time. So we trained together most days. And then, I mean, obviously a lot of the workouts, we were trying to like sync up with each other and like, because a lot of the workout movements you had to do with like another person at that time too. So we were training that style where like we were trying to like really like hone in on the timing of like every athlete on the team. But yeah, we spent I know like a lot of teams will get together like once a week on the weekends and like try to train, but at that point we were training together almost every day.
Well, that's good because you need that.
I think that's why we won the regional those 2 years, was because we were like so like in tune with each other and trained a lot together.
How was it when you get to the games and you find out a workout that you aren't prepared for, you have no idea what it is, and Castro just comes and says, "This is what you guys are doing. Good luck."
Well, I mean, yeah, that happened quite often, obviously. But it was like, it was like kind of stressful because you didn't know like how to plan it. But it was also like, once again, it was a cool experience that like not many people had. So it was, you went in there and you were like, all right, well, let's try to come up with a game plan real quick, and then you went out there and you killed yourself. But it was like kind of like a sick, fun way of killing yourself, know, like you're doing it on the stage that most people don't get to do it on. So I mean, it was pretty cool, honestly.
What was your favorite moment from the regionals or games?
Oh, that's tough. I feel like at this time when I was doing a lot of weightlifting, definitely the events where it was like a max lift, right? I remember like 1 year, I think on one of those team years, we had like a max like hang snatch or something at the regional level, and that was a lot of fun, right? You get to max out in front of like a crowd of people. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that in your lifting competitions all the time. It's kind of fun to like hit a lift in front of a bunch of people. It's definitely not as fun to miss a lift in front of a bunch of people, but
then the crowd just boos.
Like that, I feel like that, like when you ask that question, those kind of memories pop in my head the most. Is like throwing down and like lifting something you can be really proud of in front of like a bunch of people watching. I just know it would get really amped up.
Yeah, it's a lot different with CrossFit versus weightlifting. Whereas I'm lifting in front of hold on 1 second. I'm lifting in front of a silent crowd, and you're lifting in front of a bunch of energized CrossFitters. They're just like, yeah, let's go, and they're watching 15 different people try to throw down.
That's true. It's probably a little less stressful for someone on that stage because, it's not 100% of the attention is on you when you have like all these other teams and people out there. It's got to definitely be much more stressful. I've never done a lifting meet actually, but I assume that it's probably pretty nerve-wracking.
I mean, all competitions got to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You go through it and you get those butterflies, but then you get that charge probably in the middle of the workout where you're like, all right, I fucking got this. I don't even care who's around me. I'm just going to lift this weight. Whatever happens, happens.
And there's definitely, there's a couple of different kinds of people. Like there's some people who really like feed off of that nervous energy, and then there's some people that fold off of it. And I guess you just got to try it out to figure out which one you are, right?
It's got to depend on the situation, whereas like you're going into a workout that you've never done before, so you choose a strategy based on just past experience or just winging it, which I imagine happens a lot. And maybe you mistime some pacing, or you don't control your breathing well, or your partner's falling behind, or you're falling behind, and the partner's like, you got to catch up. So imagine that after you finish the workout, you're like, fuck, I wish we could do that again.
Yeah. Like, damn, I really learned something there. Let's run it back.
Let's start over. Give me about a half hour and some Snickers bars, and I'll come back here and we'll do this one again. But weightlifting competitions, I don't really get too nervous about it. I sort of just go with the flow. I don't really care too much because if I miss my lift, whatever, and if I hit it, cool. Like, I don't care.
I guess it depends on like what you yourself like what kind of pressure you're putting on it, like how much it really means to you, So I guess a little bit for everyone.
When you're going to the games, right? You're doing this not only for yourself, but you getting there's a little bit of a boost there. You have a little bit of money behind it. I don't know how much, and how did that work? Did you have to sponsor yourself to get to the games? Like, how did you afford to train as hard as you did and get to where you were?
So we did have sponsors, but like depending on the year that we were going and the team that we had was also dependent on how good those sponsors were. So like early on in 2013 and 14, like the team thing wasn't that big in the spotlight, you know, it was still like a primarily individual competition. And so we had some like small like local sponsors, and then we raised money through our gyms to help us out. But yeah, we had to do a lot more leg work to like fundraise then. But then in 2016, when I came back to do a team at Dynamics again, the team thing was like much more in the spotlight. I think at that point, like Rich Froning was doing the team thing already, and so people were like focusing on teams. And we also had like a pretty big name team. We had some like people that were recognized like nationally, that were on the individual level that were now doing teams. So the sponsorship was much easier to figure out then because people wanted to be on board with the team and have us like wear their stuff and like post pictures with their products. So it was definitely much different in 2016 than it was in those earlier years for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, is that a lot of pressure to have those sponsors behind you, or was it just kind of more fun?
Not really. It wasn't pressure in a sense of like competing pressure. It was like more pressure in a sense of like a lot of them had requirements. So like you had to post a certain amount of time. So like it was actually more pressure than like creating content for these sponsors. That's all I really cared about. Like, I mean, you could have gone to the games and gotten first, which would obviously been awesome, or you could have gotten 10th, and all they really cared about was like our reach on like a social media platform, really.
Yeah, so it was kind of newer.
I don't think it really created any more pressure having sponsors, honestly.
Okay, well, so it was kind of newer in 16 with the social media presence and influencer status. So you guys are probably just like breaking through in that.
Yeah, we had like a lot of guys on the team, well, a few of them on the team that have a lot of reach on social media. So like a lot of it really fell on them.
Okay.
Like I don't, you know, my like 8,000 followers weren't like, you know, as important as like we had people on the team that had over 100,000 followers. You know, so the more of the weight was on them to get those sponsors. You know.
It's like you guys do the social media thing. I'll just be over here running around and lifting.
It's a workout, you know. I'll flex in front of the camera for you guys, whatever. I'm all about that. I can do that all day.
And from there, you went to the Grid League, which is no longer around.
I think the Grid League started before that year. I think it did start before that. So I'm being told 2014. My wife was actually, I met her doing Grid actually.
Okay.
So yeah, 2014 Grid started, and yeah, that was a cool experience. That was my like retirement year from like competitive fitness, was to do that, so I could kind of focus on that. But yeah, that was a really cool experience actually.
How was Grid compared to CrossFit?
I mean, it was a lot different. So like as like a coach of a team, you're managing, you know, 10 guys and 10 girls, and you're like putting them in positions like in this like really unique race format. And
well, tell everybody first. Tell everybody who you coached, what team you were with, and what you did. Sorry.
So I was the assistant coach for the DC Brawlers. So the team was centered out of Washington, D.C. The head coach was actually Justin. So he was he got me the job, and then we went around and we went to so that first year we had all these combines that were in different cities, and you would go around and you would like watch people do the combines, like the NFL, right? They had the combine, and scouts go look at them do the combine, and they draft them based on that. So they had this big draft in Vegas that first year, and you know, we drafted our team. And the sport, if people don't know, it's like I think it was 11 events, and it was like a race format. So you start on one end of the grid and you work your way through it, but like during the race you could sub in other athletes. So you can run back to the start line and sub people in. So like it had this like really cool like coaching element because you actually had to like strategize. Whereas like in like a CrossFit competition, like yeah, there's strategy, but a lot of times like you'll do a workout and then you're like your strategy is to stop and rest and breathe before you do more work. Whereas it doesn't work like that in this. Your strategy would be to move as fast as possible, and then when you get to that point where you would have to stop, you run back and get someone else. So it's much more about like speed strategy than it is about like strategizing like pacing, right? There's actually no pacing involved with the grid stuff.
Yeah, and
So
it was all like
cool.
specialty.
Yeah, and it was much more entertaining to watch because of that. Like there was this constant stuff going on, and like the races tended to be like really close, like within seconds, like one team would cross the finish line and the other team, and it was cool like that. And they had some cool events, like they had like weightlifting ladders, but like speed ladders. So they had like bars starting from a light bar out with a heavy bar, and like people would just run through, and you would see them do crazy stuff lifting these bars at these like high rate of speed.
Yeah, I remember. I like the one of the coolest things was they had like an elevated rope where you had to jump to get to it, and then you can use your feet once you get to that point. And I thought that was like insane.
Yeah, it was like 9 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So you needed to be really athletic to just grab that rope.
Right.
Like so, we had like the tall guy, the guy who could like slam dunk on the team, would do that event.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was cool. It was like it rewarded people for being like athletic and like a traditional sense of athleticism, like those people that can like move very explosively, whereas like someone doing CrossFit's more rewarded for like having like a big engine, right?
Yeah.
Or like a certain mindset that enables them to like keep pushing forward, right? Whereas like the grid league was like there's a lot of different types of athletes, right? You had like your gymnasts that were like only there to do gymnastic movements, right? Like legless rope climbs and muscle ups and handstand push-ups. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you had your weightlifters that were there to just lift heavy weights. And then you had your athletes that kind of did both, right? So we even had like Klokov was on one of the teams.
Yeah, what was it like meeting him?
We don't like meet him because he doesn't really like talk to you. Like he was. It was cool that he was there and you would see him do crazy stuff like a 350-pound thruster or something at the end of a ladder, and like so that was cool to watch. But like he also didn't really like. He was just so like about lifting heavy. I don't think he really understood like the idea of also moving very fast. So there was definitely a learning curve there for him. But it was cool because you had this guy that like for years you like would watch YouTube videos of him and be like, wow, this guy is incredibly strong, and then you see him like firsthand doing this like sport that you're also doing. You know?
Yeah. Hey, I just want to put it out there that I beat Klokov in the Open this year, so I beat an Olympian. This dad bod beat him.
I was actually always looking forward to his post every week to see how he did. It's kind of funny because like I think he's done this for a couple of years actually, where he's just kind of throwing down in the CrossFit stuff. So. Yeah. And I don't think he takes himself that seriously either doing it. So
as he shouldn't.
No, yeah, I would hope that he realizes that he's not there, but it's funny to watch and also like it's entertaining.
Yeah. Did you watch him do double unders?
No, actually I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, the first one with the wall walks and the double unders, I think he was doing like single double.
Oh man! And then I was actually surprised on how little he hit in the last bar in this one. I think he had like 150 kilos, which is a lot for like a normal person. Yeah. But I think I've seen him in like old videos, like power clean and strict press, more than that before. So like that's
I
guess
fresh.
that first part, yeah.
Did you do the open workouts at all?
I did.
Yeah,
I would do them with the gym every week. So like the last couple of years, since I'm not like taking it like seriously, I would just jump into the classes and do it with them. But I mean, they were fun workouts.
I hated this last one because I was not ready for it. So my back was destroyed going into the cleans, and I didn't want to play. It was bad.
What did you clean though? I'm sure it was like a decent amount of weight.
It was okay. I did 275, and it was awful.
I only hit 245. So.
Yeah, but I didn't finish the workout. I got one bar muscle up, and it took me 6.5 minutes to get it.
Oh yeah.
I had like 5.5 minutes to do bar muscle ups, and I just stared at the bar and I went, "This is not gonna go well." and it
Like,
didn't.
you know what? I'm just gonna rest until I do the clean and jerk.
Yeah. And that felt so bad. It was awful.
Yeah. It was a cool. I think it was a cool test though. It was like a.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like the open because in my gym I'm the only one that could do everything, so I just laugh at everybody. And I don't even CrossFit that much because I CrossFit like once a week, if that.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for somebody to get really good so that I have a little competition. That'll push me a little bit, but no offense, guys, but you know the deal.
They're all gonna watch this and be like, "Man, what a dick."
2 guys beat me in the 21-3, and I was just like, well, you could have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna lift more than you.
I'm gonna destroy you in everything else, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the open much more now that I don't like. That doesn't mean anything, Like when in the days where like I had to have the right score or like submit a video, like it was freaking stressful.
Yeah, stressful. Would you repeat workouts?
Would you say?
Would you repeat workouts?
No. Only times I repeat workouts is if like I made an error and I didn't do it correctly, or if I had to like go back and videotape one. So like there was one year where they asked for a video and I didn't videotape a workout and I had to go do it again. So after the fact, I had to do the video again, which was like really stressful because I had to like at least it was the workout. It was like years ago where it was like a clean ladder, but it had like thrusters and double unders. So I had to.
Okay.
With the weights and the clean would keep going up.
Was it the double unders and toes to bar?
Yeah, toes to bar. Yeah, double unders and toe to bar.
Yeah. Okay. And, they did that one twice.
I had to redo that one after the fact, and it was like really stressful to like I have to hit like the 315 clean. I think it was like twice to get the same score. So I had to redo that one, and then I think. Like a couple of years ago, I did one and I miscounted, actually, my wife Ingrid miscounted my reps when she was judging me, and I watched the video and I realized I didn't do the right amount of reps, so I had to go back the next day and do it again. So
how did you fight? How did you fight the soreness from doing that workout as hard as you can to get your score, and then you have to do it again?
Oh, I mean, you didn't. I was just. I was really sore. There was no fighting the soreness. It was just there, and just like you're like, all right, I just have to do this again.
Oh man,
but
I just can't.
I mean, I don't know why I get so. It doesn't even matter like what workout it is. I always get so like stupid sore from those things.
The toes to bar one with the clean ladder.
Yeah,
that wrecked me. I was not. I mean, I'm not really great at it. Let's be honest. But like, I could do toes to bar, but fucking 25 a round. Jesus Christ, that's too much for me. I don't like it.
Well, for that one, I didn't have to do it immediately after. So like, they asked the videos at the end of the open, so it was weeks later when I redid it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like the next day. The one that I miscounted the reps was like it was like a heavy it was like the Diane with the handstand walks and stuff.
Okay.
It was like deadlifts. I had to redo that the next day, and that my back was real blown up from all the deadlifts, so that was difficult to do. But yeah, the other one I did like weeks later.
I did that one, but when we made everybody do it, because we do it on Fridays, and I don't want everybody to just do a 9-minute workout. So I gave everybody 20 minutes, and whatever if they were signed up for the open, I just submitted their score for the 9 minutes, but then I let them continue to keep going to see how far they would get.
Yeah, we do the same thing at the gym. I'll just, for like a workout like the bar muscle up one, I'm like, all right, go as far as you can, and then just change the movement, and we'll just have your score for...
Right.
Yeah, because like, why are you going to stare at a pull-up bar for like 10 minutes when you're doing a workout,
Yeah, that's what we do that too. So with that deadlift one, I did in 9 minutes, I think I got back and forth. I think I got through the 21 on the 315 and then the handstand walk one round. And then I finished it, and I think it took me like 16 minutes to finish the whole thing. Your back's just wrecked from that.
Nose is destroyed. I feel like it's such an irresponsible amount of deadlifts.
and it goes up. If it didn't go up, it'd be like, all right, I can hang with this a little bit.
Yeah, so you're right, you're gonna do 45 deadlifts at 225, and then guess what? You're gonna do 45 more at 315.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm like, oh my god, why? My spine. That's why.
Great. Let's break out the Tiger Bomb real quick.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
Have you met Dave Castro?
I have a couple of times at the games. Like I've exchanged a couple words, but he's usually kind of to himself as well.
Yeah. So he gets a lot of heat. I actually love the way he does the open. I used to hate it, and now I've grown to really enjoy the way he presents it, the way he is this sort of villain, but he gives you the workout, and it's like, good luck, guys. And I love it, and it's my favorite thing. I was so happy every Thursday. I would get so excited.
I'm a big fan of like trolling in general. So like he's like a big troll himself. So like I respect his troll game. Like I feel like people always like I think it's gotten better, but like initially people were like, oh, like he's such like a dick. But I think that he's kind of grown on people over the years.
Yeah,
that's just who he is. He's not even like acting. He's just like that's the guy.
Yeah,
but yeah, I respect the troll game.
Well, like it was 2 years ago when they took him out of the open of announcing, and they just let somebody do it, and it was just not the same. I think that was in 2020 when they did it in December or November when we did that.
Oh yeah, it was like I think they did it in different countries and stuff.
Yeah, right? They did it in different countries. They didn't have any production values. They would put no money behind it, and then they would just let people announce the workout, and it was not the same.
No, it was kind of boring. I remember that actually.
Yeah. Now he's back.
Yeah.
He's posting the images.
The troll is
back. Do you ever guess what the workout is based on his images?
I used to. I think like this year I didn't even attempt. Like they're so vague. But I'm making a group chat with like my athletes, and they're always like, "Oh, it definitely means this and this." I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, stop looking into this. Like you're.
The entire time for the first 2 weeks, I was guessing 17-1 as a repeat, which came on 21-2. So I guessed right on the second one, but that's because the equipment list was so limited that what else were we going to do with one dumbbell in a box?
That was really was one of the only choices that you could possibly have with the equipment.
Yeah.
I thought that one might show up as well. But I actually didn't think, after the first one, I didn't think it was going to show up, because I was like, oh, we already had like a couplet. I don't think we'll see like another. And then
here we are.
Real right in our faces, that freaking troll.
I actually really enjoyed it because I did really badly in 17-1. So I actually got to redeem myself a little bit. So I was happy that one came up.
That was the one that I get the most sore from.
Yeah.
My back on the snatches. Yep. Oh my God. I was like, I couldn't walk for like a week.
Yeah, I was a lot better this time around. But that one was for sure bad. And how did you enjoy the wall walks?
That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, because like along with the running that I do and the rowing or whatever, like the other thing that I still do is I do a lot of pumping. Like I do a lot of like bench press and strict press and like strict pull ups, and so like I feel like that one, like a wall walk played into my strengths as someone who I just wanted to get a good pump, and I still had double unders like relatively okay, so. Yeah, I feel like that was probably my personal favorite one to do. Like I felt like really good after that one.
That one was rough on the shoulders for sure.
Yeah, but I felt like so swole when I was done. I was like felt jacked. It was the wall walks are just a good pump.
I just going through that workout. When he announced it, I was like, all right, that's kind of different. That's fun. As the third round, I did one. And I almost fell off the wall, and I was like, this is going to go really badly.
Oh, I definitely saw a lot of people collapse on themselves.
You don't think it's coming, but it's coming.
Yeah, just it takes just one of those reps, and then their elbows buckle in. There was some nosedives for sure.
Oh, yeah, it got rough on this open, and it was only 3 weeks long, so it was a lot. It was a nice, condensed, fun open experience, I think. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so you got all these online programs, Zeus Boulder. You run this through Train Heroic, Trainerize. What do you do?
It's through a website. It's on Tribe. I don't know if you've heard of Tribe.
Yep.
Yeah. We do it through that. And so like people, there's different programs they can do. So there's like the games program, which is like when I give my games athletes, like they can follow that one. There's like a step down called Build. which is for like more the open level athlete. So someone who's not really trying to make the games, but someone who's trying to do well in the open. So it has a lot more like skill intensive sessions to like focus on getting better at skills and get stronger. And then we have a monostructural program as well. So it's just like running, rowing, swimming, even that people follow. Oh, and we actually have an at-home program also that we started because of COVID. So we have it's like $15, and we have a daily at-home workout that's very minimal equipment. Like you could do it with just a dumbbell or whatever you have at your house. So we have that also on there.
Is this just you, or are you partnered with somebody?
So I do all the programming, everything but the monostructural stuff. So I have a buddy who does like triathlons, and he was like a swim coach for a while. His name is Pedro. He does that, and then my business partner is one of my athletes, Tim Paulson, and he does like some of the like warm ups and stuff for the at home program, but for the most part he just handles the back end. Like he does all the like marketing and handles all of like the money situation, because I don't really want to deal with that. But yeah, he's my business partner.
Nice.
And he handles that. So like the Forged by Zeus like Instagram and all that, I don't even know the login for that. Like he does all that. I'm not very like, I was on the Instagram a lot more when I was competing and like had to do it for like sponsors or whatnot, but I'm not on it very often. That's why when you messaged me the other day, like it took me like 2 days to get back to you. I'm like, oh look, I have a DM here.
I was trying to slide in.
DMs, yeah. Like I'm like, what is this? But yeah, I don't get on Instagram that often. So yeah, he handles all that.
Nice.
And then, along with the website, I have individual athletes that I program for. A few are like games level athletes, and then some are like maybe like a tier down from there that are like, I would say most of my athletes are going to the next round, the quarterfinal round, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, so different levels
Nice,
of
man.
athletes there. Yeah.
Good. I'm happy for you. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's working out well. Yeah, so I do enjoy the coaching part. It's definitely like, I would say more stressful than competing.
In a different way.
Yeah, it's a lot of, because it's like, it's more than programming. As you know, you coach athletes who do like lifting and stuff, right? You're like, yeah. So it's like managing personalities and like expectations, actually. So that's actually a better way to put it. Managing expectations is like really, especially like this time of year, it's like kind of stressful, because you'll have some athletes that are very like, they know exactly where they're at and they know how they're going to get there. But then you have another group of athletes that like, you have to kind of talk them up to convince them they can do something, or they think that they're like, they can do something they can't do, and you're like, well, maybe we should like take a step back for a second and like reevaluate a bit. So that's definitely stressful right now. And like people who do the workout and they see other people's scores and they're like, oh, I suck, I'm so like, and you're like, okay, relax. Like,
It's like training for parenting. You got to deal with
yeah,
all the
it
kids.
actually is. And I do find that even though Gunnar, my son, even though he's very exhausting and like kind of a dick sometimes, he's easier to manage than some of the athletes that I have.
You just grab him and hold him, and then, all right, where you going, bud?
But he's definitely a little bit easier to manage than quite a few of the people that I deal with. For
now. Uh-huh.
For now. And don't get me wrong, he's not easy to manage at all. Like he I don't know if I think it's a boy thing. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. But like boys are just like at that, well, how old is your son?
A little under 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now that the terrible 2 thing, I thought I didn't really believe it. Like I thought, okay, like how bad could it be? But it's like a switch goes off, and he's like a terror. He's like he'll throw shit at me. Like,
Yep.
I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just throw like he had like pull a toolbox out. He threw like a screwdriver at me the other day. I'm like, what are you doing? And you can't get what you want all the time. And he's like, no, I don't understand that concept that I can't get what I want. I'm like, and it's weird. Like, he turned 2, and then at first he was fine. He was still like sweet and like, he was definitely wild. But like all of a sudden, it was like a month later. It was like, what happened to you? What's going on here?
I guess I'm looking forward to that.
His new thing this week is wearing a jacket. So like it's still like kind of chilly on the mornings we go out. And we're like, all right, you gotta put a jacket on. Refuses to put a jacket on. Like, you can't do it. And you're like, all right, we're not going out unless you put a jacket on. And it's just like this war for something so simple. Like, just put the jacket on. I don't understand why you put the jacket on.
Yeah, but, that's coming for me soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can't, like, we had to do this a conversation again, like, in a couple months.
For sure.
I want you to be like, yo, you weren't lying. This terrible tooth thing is real.
Well, let me ask you this: does your son sleep in your bed or his own room?
Oh, he's never slept in our bed.
Oh, good for you, man. I can't break that habit. My wife won't let me.
Oh, so we from like he had his own area from day one. Like, we were like this. We didn't want to have it to build, so we were like, all right, like obviously like the first maybe month or whatever, like my wife would sleep in the same room as him, but it was his room.
Yeah.
Because she would have to wake up and feed him anyway, so it was like whatever. But like I think so early on, he just had this idea of his own space, and he actually sleeps in like a big bed now too.
Yeah, so does my son. The king size bed. It's my bed.
But like he has the ability to escape his bed, and I'm like impressed that he just sleeps in his bed.
Yeah.
Like, he's not in a crib or anything anymore, and he just like, all right, you're going to bed. And like putting him down sometimes is difficult because he's like, oh, I want to get up, I want to get out, I want to do this. But then once he's down, it's like, all right, he's in his bed and he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I feel for you. I can't imagine if he was in our room all the time.
I just sleep on the couch because I'm like, I tell Aaron, you deal with him because I'm not.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a school of thought that would be like, that's how like our ancestors were, was they all like did the family bed thing. So
I guess. I don't know. That's not my school of thought.
Yeah, same here. I'm stoked on my own space.
Yeah, I'd like my bed back, please, Logan. If you're watching, give me my bed back.
Yeah, you have a king bed. You have like a nice bed to sleep on. And, like, it's being taken over by a little terrorist.
He has a twin size bed that I sleep in sometimes, and so does my wife instead of him. It just is what it is.
That's what's going to end up happening, is you'll both end up sleeping in the twin bed, and he'll have his own space, but it'll be your space.
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
Yeah, he'll win this battle. You'll see.
He's already won. You know what? I try to do it, but my wife is like, no, we can't do that. Okay, then it's on you.
Well, maybe on the next child, you flip the script and just see what happens.
Oh, we're putting that child in the crib. I'm letting her scream. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
she is screaming, and I'm leaving her.
We were pretty lucky that like sleep training went like, I know I've heard a lot of horror stories, but we had a pretty okay time with the sleep training thing. Like he like took to it pretty quick, and like he was fine. But yeah, so I can't complain about that. Like, I feel like I've heard like just terrible stories about people trying to like, they're like kids screaming bloody murder from being in the thing, and I'm like, man, you know what? I can't even relate to you. I'm sorry.
I want to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. So
I would imagine that it would only get worse.
it's not going to go well. That's true.
So I mean,
we'll
good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. It might be. Well, maybe when they get to an age of like bribery, you can bribe them to do it.
Maybe he'll be a terrible two and not want to sleep in the bed.
The next step too is potty training too.
Yeah, that's gonna be something.
we like started. So we started like early. I think most people do it around 3, and we started like at 2. And like he's at the point where it's like been a roller coaster, obviously, but like peeing is good. Like he can go to his potty and pee, but like I don't know what it is about like pooping, but like refuses to go anywhere but like his pants. I don't like. I'm like it's the same concept. I don't. And the worst thing is he'll tell us like I have to go, and we're like, all right, let's go. And then he'll sit and he's like, I don't have to go, and then like he'll walk away and then it's with his pants. Like, you know exactly what you're doing.
Oh my god, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. Oh, and then sometimes he'll just stand there and pee on the floor, like but like out of spite, like not even like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like he'll be like naked. He's like, I'm gonna pee. We're like, no, and he's like, shh, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. This is the terrible two-ness, like peeing on the floor on purpose, and then throwing. Yeah.
I don't know if you have this issue also, but Erin likes to buy nice things, and I like to look at her and go, why? And then Logan likes to destroy nice things, and then I look at her and go, why did you buy that? What are you doing? And she likes to get mad. Do you have that same problem?
We gave up on that because he colors on everything. Like the walls and the floor, and it's like there's no point in even trying to.
Yeah.
You can't have nice things.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't want nice things. Let him color everything. He runs all over the gym, throws shit. He's got his own little room here. It's fine. Do your damage. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think. I think the goal would be we live in an apartment right now. I think the goal would be eventually if we moved into a house that we would have like the things that we consider nice, like our things, in a room that our child/children could never get to.
Good luck.
Like they don't get nice things. I don't know. Yeah, you would never give a child a nice thing. Like we can have nice things. Yeah.
All right, brother. Final thoughts. What do you say to people who are on the fence about CrossFit or looking to try something different? Let's knock that bad rep of CrossFit out. Tell everybody what you feel about CrossFit and how it's helped you in your career and lifestyle.
I think so. I mean, along with like obviously training like CrossFit athletes, I work at a gym and I coach people that come in, and a lot of the people that come in have that like negative outlook a little bit. They want to try it, but they're just not sure. And I tell you, like, just the environment, and if you have like good coaching, man, it goes such a long way. Like, first of all, these people like find that they're motivated by other people working out around them, and then there's like this cool social aspect to it. I know that doesn't really necessarily like go directly hand in hand with like your own like physical fitness, but it kind of does, right? Like there's a mental fitness aspect to it. Like you have a lot of people that like, especially now, that they work at home and they don't really have like they don't talk to people very often, like in person, and like, and you go into the gym and like that's like your escape, and that's like such a huge part of it. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about is like, man, just having that like 1 hour of the day that you don't have to like worry about like all the bullshit at home and go do that thing. And honestly, I think that CrossFit has like a methodology, like if done correctly. It's not always done correctly, and that's unfortunately why there is a negative
stigma.
Yeah, stigma with it is, but if done correctly, if you have like good coaching and good programming that like keeps people like safe, but also like continuing to like challenge them, then man, you could see. I've seen such incredible changes in people, like whether it be like someone coming in overweight and then all of a sudden losing a bunch of weight, or someone coming in, like an older person coming in, not be able to do like very much on their own, and all of a sudden they're like able to like go for long walks and lift things off the floor, to like, especially like females who come in and they're not like sure if they want to bulk up or not, and then like months later they're like, I want to PR my snatch. It's like this cool like empowering thing that they're doing. They didn't realize that they needed that, right? They were just kind of going through the motions, and now you have this like person who gets excited about lifting heavy weights, and like it's just cool. Like I think there's a little bit for everyone. Like And there's very few people that like, walk in the door where I'm like, I don't think that this is for you. You know, like I feel like most people walk in like with like proper coaching and scaling, like you can make it work for anybody, and they can get better and not like constantly be in pain. You know.
Yes.
And I think that's like such a dope thing. Like I like the coaching of like the competitive athletes, but like I find a lot more fulfillment seeing like someone come in and then like seeing that same person months later. Right? I've seen a few people come in that you're like, wow, like I'm not sure that they'll stick to it, and they do.
And it's awesome.
And you're like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I never know who's gonna stick with it and who's gonna leave. It's always a mystery to me when people walk through the door. I'm always like, all right, cool, come on in.
And it's like so cool. The people like there's been definitely a few incidents where I'm like, this person like won't last a month, and then like a year later they're just a completely different person, like in a good way, completely different person, you know.
For sure.
So yeah, I think there's a lot more positive than negative as far as like CrossFit training goes, and I think that if you're on the fence, then I think you need to just give it a shot. I think you need to do your research and look. Yeah, try it out. But like, yeah, I mean, we have the power of the internet. You can research which ones are good. Like people rate them, and you go on Reddit and like look up, hey, what's your CrossFit gym in this area? And like people will tell you directly which one to go to and which one to avoid. You know, so like we have a lot of tools where you can kind of like direct yourself in a way that will make your experience as good as possible. And I think that you should utilize those tools. You know.
Well said, sir.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, Dave, thank you for coming on here, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate
you. Of course. It was a good time.
Yeah, this is good catching up with you, too. This was fun.
Yeah, you too, man. It's been a long time. Let's not make it so long.
Yeah, dude, for sure. You got to answer your DMs.
Yeah, just slide back in. I'll just have to give you my actual number. That might work out better.
It might.
I'll hop back down here during the games time when I have some more to talk about. I'm gonna have some athletes there, hopefully, so maybe we'll catch up on that.
Yeah, we'll do set up another cast with Dave. Find him at Zeus Boulder, Forged by Zeus, his online training program through Tribe. If you're looking for some competitive CrossFit training or just some endurance or any style of training, hit him up. Let him know what you're about, and he'll fix it up for you. Sweet. All right.
Thanks,
Age is inevitable. Weakness is not, so get out there and lift some shit, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Ooh. Thanks for watching today's MarbleCast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content. Check out our Spreadshirt shop to grab some swag, and if you would like to support the MarbleCast, please head over to anchor.fm. All of the links are in the description, and it helps us out to keep the channel running. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.